everybody. Today we're going to do a little thing called math. All right, it's our pre-calculus class. We're dealing with 4-1 polynomial. What's the word? Functions. There we go. Polynomial functions. All right, it's going to be pretty easy. Not really. We're in pre-calculus. Make sure you got your twistables ready. You're probably wondering what the heck the 3, 3, 1, 1, and a negative 2 is. You know what those represent? Roots. I like it. So you see this little graph right here? I want you to put a little dot right here at 3. A little dot right here at 1. And a little dot right here at a negative 2. When we're done with our graph, we should have a graph that looks like this. Like it goes up, and then eventually it hits that, and then eventually it hits that. All right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take these roots right here, and we're going to create a polynomial function that eventually looks something like this. All right? So in your journal, I want you to label this as these are your roots, or what other word could you use? Solutions. What's another word you could use? X-intercepts. All right. Let's say you were really poor. You would have what in your bank account? Zero.
Or negative.
All right, so how do we take these and make it into an equation? Well, it's really easy. You say x minus 3 times x minus 3 times x minus 1 times x minus 1 times x plus 2 equals 0. You're like, what the heck did you just do? Well, listen. If you have a root of 3, and you want to make it equal to 0, then 3 minus 3 is 0. So when you're building an equation, what you got to do is you got to take this number and plug it in and make it equal to 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus 1 is, there you go. See the pattern here? Yeah, okay. What am I going to say? That's right. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So wait a second. If you don't understand the pattern, let's just do it the simple way. Just make it the opposite of whatever it is. All right. Now, we're going to do a little review of how to multiply binomials together. If you're wondering what a binomial is, x minus 3 is a binomial. Represents two numbers. One of them is x. One of them is negative. I want you guys to highlight, if you would please, x minus 3, x minus 3. Like that. In one color. There we go. Then in another color, you can do x minus 1 and x minus 1. All right, and then finally at the end, eventually we're going to work with this guy, but we're going to save him for the very end. All right, first product we're going to find is between x minus 3 and x minus 3. Now, I'm going to show you a little shortcut that you can do if and only if you have a 1 in front of this end. And you've got a 1 in front of this end. What you do is you take the negative 3's, and you know you're going to have an x squared, but the negative 3's, add them together. That's right, negative 6, then stick an x. And if you take a negative 3 and multiply it to a negative 3, so the product, right here, the final answer to the product of those two together is x squared minus 6x plus 9. Well, what if you didn't know how to do that shortcut? What method would you have to do? You'd have to do the FOIL method. So once again, I'm going to review the FOIL method for those of you who don't know how to do the FOIL method. You do x times x, and what do you get? X squared. Then you do x times a negative 3. What do you get? That's right. Negative 3x then negative 3 times x, and you also get a negative 3x. But when you add those together, what do you get? Negative 6x. Hello! How are you? So good to see you. Now, the last part of the FOIL method is negative 3 times negative 3, which is a positive 9. And when you finish adding everything together, oh, hold on, move that positive 9. What do you get? You get x squared minus 6x plus a 9, which is the exact same thing as that right there. My suggestion is learn the shortcut. What are you going to do with those two numbers? You're going to add them together to get negative 6. And what do you do to get to the 9? You multiply them together. So how about this? What I'd like you to do right now, in the blue, take x minus 1 and multiply it to an x minus 1 without using the FOIL method to save us some time. So go ahead and do that on your paper and see if you get it right. Here we go. We're back in action. So, who was going to volunteer? Kenzie. That's right. All right, Kenzie. Doing the shortcut, what would you get with this sucker right here? X squared, I agree. Minus 2x is very good because you took a negative 1 and you added a negative 1 and you got a negative 2. Good. And then lastly, plus 1. That's awesome. Perfect. It's beautiful. That is absolutely correct. So you took the shortcut and we got here a lot faster than doing the FOIL method. Now this only works if and only if you have a 1x and another 1x. So very good. Good. All right. Now, unfortunately, everybody, we have to do the FOIL method. Yes. So here's what we're going to have to do, Ryan. We're going to have to take this x squared minus 2x plus 1. Put that in your journal. And yes, we're going to have to take x squared minus 6x plus 9. And we are going to have to multiply those. Oh, yeah. We're multiplying those suckers together. So get it all set up and ready to go with not 1, not 2, but 3 different colors. All right, here we go. We're going to highlight. I'm going to highlight the first one in blue. You're like, well, I don't have a blue. Well, figure out which color you're going to use. What I'd like you to do first is take that blue, and I want you to multiply that to the x squared. That to the negative 6x. And that all the way out to the 9. That's the first step. So do that real quick. What is our product in blue? Angela. What is x squared times x squared? No, don't ask you. No. Anybody want to save her?
Me.
Who? You? Myra. Save her. Kind of. We'll just call it x to the 4. There we go. I like it. Good. All right. X squared times a negative 6x. Anybody want to volunteer? Raise your hand. Wow, look at all those volunteers. This is America, folks.
Man, why don't you choose? Go ahead and choose one of them.
Negative 6 what? 6x to the 3rd. Good job. We received time here. All right. X squared. This is easy. X squared times a 9. 9x squared. Okay, we're good. Now listen. That's the product of the x squared times each one of those. Now, change color. We're going to go red. We're going to make this bleed. Go red. Here we go. We're going to do negative 2x times an x squared, a negative 2x times a negative 6x, and a negative 2x times a 9. Hold on. Myron's volunteer. The first thing we're going to do, hold on. Let me ask the question. Did you give me the answer? All right, that's how it works. I ask questions. You give me answers. Good. Negative 2x times an x squared is?
Negative 2 to the 3rd.
Close.
Negative 2x to the 3rd.
That's right. Negative 2x cubed. If you want to be cool, you say cubed instead of x to the 3rd. But you're cool. But if you want to be even cooler, x cubed. All right. Now we're going to take negative 2x and we're going to multiply it to a negative 6x. And what are you going to get?
Positive 12x to the squared.
Yes, x squared. Look at that. You almost said x to the 2nd. You're like, you want to be cool, so you said x squared. I like it. And then finally, negative 2x times a?
You will get negative 18x.
Excellent. So we finished multiplying the negative 2x to every single number. Do you think I'm going to change colors now?
Yeah.
All right, let's go green. Let's.
Like that Ninja Turtle.
That's right, like the Ninja Turtles. Let's go green. Now, I would say this, of all of them, would probably be the easiest one to multiply.
I might blame Jordan.
So, you know what? I think I'm going to let anybody who wants to, raise your hand, who wants to multiply a 1 times all of it. Go, Jordan!
X squared.
Bam! We're going to put it with all the other x squares.
6x.
What?
6x.
What?
6x.
What?
Negative 6x.
No, that's right! Minus 6x. I would keep saying what until you eventually realize
I
it.
thought that was in the problem.
Oh. All right, and then finally,
A positive.
very good. Make sure, notice, I know my handwriting's not perfect, but it is organized. All right? Make sure you have all your columns correctly organized. You have your x to the power of 4, you have x cubes and x squared, and then x to the first, and finally your constants at the end. So how many x to the power of 4, x to the 4th power do we have? Negative 6x cubed minus 2x cubed. Negative 8x squared. 9x squared, 12x squared, 1x squared, 22x squared. Now, if you can't hear that, that's Audrey in the background. She's very, very brilliant, but she just talks really, really quietly. All right? Now, over here, what do we get? That's right. In her head, she's like negative 24x plus 9. That's a horrible plus if we change that. All right, everybody. And we're done. You know why we're not done? No. No. Hold on. Right under here. I'm going to rewrite this. X to the 4th minus 8x cubed plus 22x. Remember, I said you're going to need a whole lot of room to do this problem. Because we're going to take this big old bad mamma jamma and we're going to multiply it by an x plus 2. And you're wondering, where the heck did you get the x plus 2?
The remainder of the problem.
Right up here. We've multiplied this together, and then finally took those suckers and multiplied both those together. Now we're finally at the very end of the problem. By the way, how many problems do you guys have on your page, on the front page? Of these?
4.
4. That's why I don't give you 20 of them, right? You have 4 of them, okay? So, right now, I'm only going to do 2 colors, everybody. Just 2. I'm going to do a blue, and I'm going to do a red. That's it. Blue and red. Write it out just like this. I'll give you a chance to catch up. All right, so this is going to be pretty easy now. The hardest part is all we have to do is take an x and multiply it into every single one of this long quartic polynomial. All right? So in blue, what are we going to have? X to the what? X to the 5th, good, minus 8x to the 4th, plus 22x cubed, minus 24x squared, plus 9x. That's not that bad. We're just distributing this x into every single term. And last but not least, we're going to take a what? A 2 and multiply that 2 into every single term. All the way to the very end. So when you take 2 and you multiply it to x to the 4th, what do you left? 2 what? 2x to the 4th. And 2 times a negative 8x cubed is negative x cubed. And 2 times a 22x squared plus 44x squared. And 2 times a negative 24x is a negative 48x. And finally 2 times a 9 is 18. And now we can finally add everything together for our final answer. We have x to the 5th minus 6x to the 4th plus 6x cubed plus 20x squared minus 39x plus 18. I'm running out of time.